Hey guys, welcome to your Chapter 5 Lesson 4 notes on point-slope form. By the end of the day, you'll be able to write and graph linear equations with point-slope form. So, to not waste your time, let's tell you what point-slope form is. Are you ready? Point-slope form is what happens when you take a point with an x-coordinate and a y-coordinate. We'll call them x1, y1 because they're from point number 1. And then you also take the slope and then you put them together. Remember, slope is m. Now, the equation of a line represents x, y pairs that make an equation true. So it means if you take, it's all of the x's and y's that make it such that if you subtract y1 from that y coordinate, and you also subtract the x1 from your x coordinate, like that, okay? But you take that difference, you multiply it by the slope, and you get the difference of the y values. And that's what point-slope form looks like. Love it? Memorize it? Let's put it to good use. So let's write an equation for this line. Remember that we always have an x and a y. Right there, that's our x1 and our y1. And our slope here is -5. So we're going to take our point-slope form and we're going to replace all of the parts with what we know. Okay. So our x value of our point is -3. Our y value of our point is 6. Our slope is -5. And we're almost done. There's one tiny little thing to fix. And that tiny little thing is this guy right here. Two negatives, when you add them up, make a positive. So minus -3 is the same thing as +3. So that's just x plus 3, like that. And you leave it just like that. Ta-da! Now go ahead and follow that same pattern. Y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. Plug in this information. So what should the equation of your line be? Well, we're going to take 8 as our x1, -4 as our y1, and our slope is 2/3. And let's plug those in. Y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. And again, we only have one thing to fix. Minus a -4 is the same thing as adding 4. So we just y plus 4 equals 2/3 x minus 8. That's it. You please do not distribute this 2/3 into the x and the 8. Please do not subtract 4 from both sides to get the 4. No, we just want to leave it like that. Okay. Now why? Why do we leave it like this? Well, that's because it helps us graph it. All we need is a point and a slope to graph a line. So let's put them together. The first step is to find out what your x1, y1 is. So we look at this, we can tell, okay, our x1 is 4. Excellent. So we need the point 4. And we also need the point, not 7. This is a minus a -7. So we need the point, we need the y coordinate to be -7. So we're looking for the coordinate 4, -7. Excellent. Okay. Once we find that, we got to go find it. So I'm going to go over 4. That's 4. Oh, and down 7. I need to go down 7. Well, if that's 10, 2, 4, 6, 8, 7 is going to be between them. Of course, it's -7. Need to find where they intersect. So I went over 4, down 7. So our point starts out right there. There's our 4 and -7. Okay, we've got our point. And remember, this is point slope. So we need to find out, hey, what's our slope? Our slope is -4/5. So that's cool. But remember what slope represents? Slope is rise over run. So that means that we are going to go down 4 over 5. So we're going to take our starting point. We need to go down 4. So -7 minus 4 gets us to -11. And we need to go to the right 5. So from 4, -7, we need to go all the way over to 9, which is going to be down here, there. Okay, so we went down 4, over 5, and that's our next point. Well, this should be like halfway through here. There you go. Excellent. So we've got our point, we've got our starting point, we've got our slope, taking us down 4 over 5, just like down 4 over 5. And now we can connect our points. So we take a nice straight line, connecting it through our points, and kind of centering it on the graph so it looks pretty. Voila, there you have it. There is the line represented by y plus 7 equals -4/5 times the difference of x and 4. Cool. Okay, that's cool. But how can we write an equation from a graph? Well, let's go back to what we need. What information do we need? To write an equation in point-slope form, we need a point and the slope. Well, y'all, we are in luck here. We have not 1, not 2, but 3 points. Okay, so which point should we use for our graph? Let's use this one. It really doesn't matter. There are 3 correct answers to this. But let's use 1, 4 because those numbers are easiest, and that's really the only reason why I want to use it. Okay, so 1 is going to be our x1, beep, and 4 is going to be our y1, pop, and there's our point, boom. Okay, we've got a point. Now we need our slope. Well, remember, slope is rise over run. And if you want to use the formula for slope, y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1, you are welcome to do so. However, since we have a graph to look at, I'm just going to trace it on the graph and find out what that is. So let's look at our rise. How far up do we go when we go from 4 all the way up to 11? Well, 4 to 11 is an increase of 7. So our rise is 7. Whoops. Whee. Okay, 7. And our run, we're going from 1 to 4. 1 to 4 is a change of 3. So it gives us that our slope is 7 over 3. Hey, look, we have all the information we need. We've got our x1, y1, we've got our slope. Now let's plug them all in. So our y1 we said was 4. Our m we said was 7/3. And our x1 we said was 1. And there you have it. This is the equation for our line. Again, it is by no means the only equation of the line. There are, in fact, an infinite number of possibilities, but this is the easiest one, so cool. By the way, if you did this on your own, the other 2 correct answers you can get easily from this chart are using this point down here. You get y plus 3 equals 7/3 x plus 2, taking your -3, that's minus a negative, is positive. Your -2 minus negative is a positive. With 4 and 11, you do y minus 11 equals 7/3 x minus 4. Again, you've got y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. And notice what is the same. Our slope is always the same at any point of our line. That's what makes it a line, is the slope is always the same. Slope stays the same. That is a key idea. Slope of a line stays the same the whole time. Cool. Okay, now it's your turn, guys. Think you got it? How could you write this equation of this line? Here's my hint. When you're looking for your slope, notice that your rise here is negative. Okay, to go from 7 down to 2 is -5. That's my hint. Okay, what do you think? How can you write the equation of this line in point-slope form? Go. Now go. Okay, so you've figured out by now that the slope of the line is -5 over 3. Go from 1 to 3. So no matter what, your slope should be -5/3. Now you'll notice that there are several points to this line, so your answer could be one of any of these things. Okay, you have 3 choices. You can either have chosen our first point, and our first point would have given you, sorry, I thought I was buying myself enough time. We plug in 1 and 7, so 1, 7, or we plug in 4 and 2, 4, 2, or we plug in 7 and -3, 7 and -3. Did you see that? I made the negative a positive. Okay, so any one of these answers is totally fine. Think you got it? Well, we've written an equation just from we've written a graph from an equation. We've made an equation from a graph. What about a table? Let's use a table. Let's say you've gathered some information. So you've got some water in a tank, and the gallons of water in your tank depends on how much time has passed in hours. They tell us that the relationship is linear, so that's nice. We've got a nice liney guy going on. What's an equation in point-slope form to model the data? And what does the slope represent? Remember, your point slope is y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. What does our slope represent? Remember from the very first time we talked about slope? Slope represents the change in y over the change in x. Okay. So in this case, what does y represent? Y is the gallons of water. So we can say change in, how about water level? Oh, that's fancy. So the change in water level over, what does x represent? Change in time. Oh, sorry. Change in time. But let's put some units into this. So water level is gallons. So we've got gallons per an hour. Ooh, that's so fun. Okay, that's going to come in handy. So hang on to that. Okay, so in order to find the slope, we need to find, sorry, I don't know why this moved. We need to figure out 2 points that will give us our slope. The easiest one, you guys, is always go for the smallest numbers. So we're going to pick at 3 hours, where we've got 4570 and 3. And let's also go with 3320 and 2. So we got our change in y over our change in x, which gives us 1250 over 1, which is really nice because that's 1250. Yay. Okay. And now all we need to do is pick a point and plug our information into our point slope form. Well, we know our slope. Just figured that out. So I'm going to put that guy right there. Now we really just need to pick literally any point. I like to pick the smallest numbers, so let's go with these guys. We got 3320 for our y and 2 for our x. Aha! Okay. So what does our slope represent a rate of? Well, it represents what's happening. Here we've got gallons. Gallons is going up. Time is going up. So we are filling a tank. The slope represents the rate of water filling the tank at a rate, oh, I ran out of room, at a rate of, what was our rate? Oh, our slope is 100, sorry, I did it again, 1250 gallons per hour. Guys, I think that's really fast. I have like no awareness of how much water that is, but that just sounds really fast to me. Okay, excellent, excellent, excellent. Yeah, point slope form, know it, love it, cherish it, memorize it, and have a great time on your homework.